So, we're being joined at the moment by Marie, Jed, and Joe. That's right. Yeah, I'm terrible with names. Yeah, I can remember so many Dex cards. So, what you're about to see came about because of an act that is out at the moment called Mind to Mind. Right, it consists of two people. His name is James, and he is sickeningly handsome. And the lady is named Marina, and she is absolutely stunning. Okay, the pair of them have created what's called Mind to Mind, and the idea behind this is Marina will be on the stage and blindfolded, while James goes out into the audience and collects various objects from people in the audience, and Marina psychically divinates what James is holding. It's an incredible act. If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube and everything else. I was lucky enough over the past week to have met the two of them. I've told them about this, so I said I'm going to send it to them. Okay, lovely, lovely people as well. Very humble, in fact. However, it did get me thinking on where it all began. That particular act. Where did it begin? So I started doing some research, and I found in the late sort of 1800s, people were starting to perfect this duo psychic reading act. Okay, and what would happen is usually the lady again would be on stage blindfolded, and the gentleman would go out into the audience, collect various items, and it would be divinated from the lady. Right? There were many of these acts that came together from all around the world, and they found out that the best place to perform these are in the theatres of London and various areas. Glasgow was actually quite popular for it, but London was the place to be with this. Now, all these people flocked to London, started performing their shows, but there was one couple in particular that went by the name Bertrum. And what was really special about these is that the lady in this duo was absolutely 100% convinced that what she was doing was not a trick, that she was actually psychic. And actually she said she was so psychic that when people were around her, that energy would ooze from her and people around would absorb it, not only in person, but in effigy. And we're going to try a little experiment with that in a moment. Now, they also claimed that the rest of the acts were charlatans, and they did not like that whatsoever. So we're going to try something. Here I have a series. I've not told you the first names of the people yet, and that is very, very important. Over here, I have a series of cards. These ones all have ladies' names on them. All of these, right? So if I can give that to you, actually, Jed, you can check through them, you can shuffle them, you can make sure that they're all different. And these ones have all gentlemen's names on, okay? Now, the named people are in these decks somewhere, so Maria, I'll hand them to you. Again, you can shuffle them, you can move them about, you can make sure that they're all different, that's absolutely fine. Now, here's the thing, I'm going to give you the option. You can either look at the cards and cognitively decide which name you're going to pick out, or you can pick it by absolute random. But once you do have that, lay it face down on the table so I cannot see it. Once you have that, and you can choose again whether you do it blind or you actually look and physically choose one of those names. Excellent. You have the ladies' names, don't you, Jed?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, yeah? I've got to choose.
That's fine, just pick any name from there. Just make sure I don't see it there. No, I didn't see that, but when you get it, just place it face down on the table. Excellent. I'm just going to pop them there for one moment. Okay, so that was completely random. You chose whichever card you wanted to with a name on, and it looked like that you actually selected it by looking at the names. Is that right? That's right. Yeah, and you did exactly the same over there, Marie. Okay. I'm not going to reveal those at a moment, but here, this is the interesting part. I'm going to hand these photos over to you, Joe. And what I would like you to do is, I don't want you to look at them just yet, but I would like you to mix them up, right? And in a moment, what I would like you to do is, whenever you're ready, at random, select any one of those photos. And this has to be an absolutely free choice. You just got to feel right. Does that feel right? Okay, we're gonna lock it in. We're just gonna pop it in the box and close the box. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you another part of the story now. Because the Bertrams believed what they were doing was a real thing and everyone else they believed was a charlatan, they decided that they could be the only people doing this act. So between the years of 1886 and 1887, they went on a murderous rampage and they murdered all of the other acts. All of them. They never get caught until their own deaths, when evidence suggested that it was them that did it. Now this is how psychic Mrs. Bertram said she was. She said that when they were having their poster made with the as most modern cameras as you could get in the late 1800s, she said that she was so psychic that she could make the clothes that she was wearing appear on the print in colour. Now this was completely unheard of. This was even before the black and white photo. Everything here was in sepia, but she claimed that it could be done. Can I just confirm that these were random choices? Yeah? Can I take the gentlemen's names from you, please, Marie? I'm just going to take these and I'm just going to spread them over the table there. And I'll take the ladies' names from you, Jed, thank you. I'm going to take them and just spread them over the table there. For the first time, I can now tell you that Mr. and Mrs. Bertram were named Eric and Elizabeth. Okay?
I know why you picked that name as well.
The name you selected was Elizabeth and Eric. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that these might actually be marked cards, and on some level, you would be correct, but not in the way you might think. Because if I take this little UV torch here and I just span it across those, we don't see anything out of the ordinary at all. However, if we take Elizabeth and we take Eric and we shine the light on the back of those, the X shows up, signifying the name of their group, which was X marks the spot. Now, this gets a little stranger, because these photos over here are all of the other acts. I'm going to turn these over one by one, because each one at the bottom says deceased, and the month and year they were deceased. And this is the same for every single one of these photos. In fact, if we just, every single one, and they are all blank on the back. Deceased, 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 deceased. You picked one photo at random.
I did.
I would like to introduce you to Eric and Elizabeth Bertram.
In colour. That's amazing.
In colour. But I do want to try and take this one step further. She claimed, like I say, she claimed that not only in her physical presence would you be able to absorb some of her psychic power, she claimed that in effigy that you would be able to absorb some of her psychic power. Here's what I want you to do, Joe. If you can do this without blinking, it's going to be incredible. First thing, before we do it, I have a little envelope over here and a little bit of photo paper. Just check that photo paper and make sure that there's nothing weird about it or anything like that. And you can take a look in the envelope. There's nothing else in there. You can see that? Yeah, you all happy with that? Excellent, nothing in the envelope. Here's what we're going to do. If we take the envelope and we, just bent the corner on it, that's annoying. We pop it inside thusly. I'm going to put that in front of you in just a moment, okay? I want you to stare at this photo. If you can do it without blinking, it's even better. Because what I want you to do is I want you to start absorbing as much information. Stare at the photo and absorb as much as possible. Think about the colour of the dress, think about the hairstyles, think about the clothes they're wearing, the background, things like the clock and the candlestick. I want you to start absorbing all of that information. And as you do that, I'm just going to tell these guys that quite recently there have been various experiments where scientists have tried to photograph dreams and memories. This is absolutely true. You can check this, and it's getting very close. It's getting very close to it actually happening. They're very blurred, but the colours and shapes seem to be there. And I want to see how psychic this particular person is. When you're ready, Joe, if you think you've absorbed enough of that information, I want you to lift up the envelope and I want you to just stare at it at about arm's length. And that is whenever you're ready to do so. Whenever you're ready to do so, and you're just going to stare at it. And what you're going to do is you're going to remember, I'm going to take this away, I'm going to flip it upside down. You're going to remember absolutely everything that you could see. And as you stare into that there, what you're doing is you're projecting that image onto that blank piece of photo paper that just went in there. And in your mind, you're going to be creating this picture. In that envelope, there's a tiny, tiny little pinhole, and that's what's absorbing all of your energy that hopefully you've just absorbed from Elizabeth Bertrum. And as you start staring at it, you're remembering various details. And you're thinking about the background of things now, aren't you? The clothes they're wearing and everything like that, okay? And when you feel like it's really, really, really vivid, just blink and look straight at me when you're happy with that. You happy?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to invite you to do. Lift the flap on the envelope. Just give it a little pinch at the sides there. And as carefully as you can, just pull out the piece of photo paper. We've got it, yeah, that's fine. You can bring it out, I'll take the envelope. And it's still got the bend in it. Just flip over where you were staring at it and just see if anything. Can we take a look at that? I think you'll find that is pretty accurate.